This is BBC Radio London.
Best Breakfast Show with Vanessa Feltz.
Hundreds of KFC outlets have run out of chicken after it changed its distribution company. As of yesterday afternoon, more than 600 were closed, much to the disappointment of customers. Well, the company says it's working flat out all hours to get things sorted, but admitted it didn't know how long that was going to take. Let's talk now to Steve Jones, a consultant who advises some of the UK's biggest companies on how to manage their supply chains. Steve, good morning to you.
Good morning, Vanessa.
What has gone wrong here, Steve?
Well, that's a $64,000 question, isn't it?
Yes.
It looks like they've changed from one supplier to another, reconfigured all their supply chain, and ended up making a complete chicken sandwich of it.
But, I mean, can you explain to us, for example, how Kentucky Fried Chicken gets its chicken in, or how McDonald's or any Burger King, how do they get the minced meat for their burgers? Or I don't know whether burgers come ready burgered or whether they turn them into burgers, but how does it come? Where does it come from, and how does it arrive at the right place at the right time?
Well, I mean, it depends organisation by organisation, but most of the fast food restaurants will have their own supply chain, and it looks like what KFC have done is they've contracted bits of it out. So someone somewhere is manufacturing the chicken into the sort of cuts that they want and the sizes that they need. And then what happens is they've contracted this company in Germany to do the logistics. So what they'll do is they'll decide how much is ordered and which shops it's shipped to, and then DHL have just got the lorries and the warehouse to move the stuff around the country in sort of simplistic terms.
So does that mean lots and lots of chicken will be languishing somewhere? Because obviously copious quantities, whole flocks of chicken. Where is it? Where are they?
Well, as I said earlier on the TV, what you probably got is a lot of chicken getting smelly in DHL's warehouse over time.
Gosh, well, that doesn't sound like a good idea.
It sounds like a rotten idea.
I know. So the idea that KFC's had to shut its doors, I mean, this is monumentally dramatic, isn't it? I've never heard, well, at least I don't think I've ever heard of such a thing before. Have you?
Well, I mean, obviously there have been various food hygiene scandals, but they're saying this isn't what this is.
No.
They've been a bit, in their press releases, they've been a little bit, shall we say, less than up front, and they've said we'll do everything we can to make sure that we don't affect quality. Well, that was never the issue. The issue is they can't move the stuff around.
And so DHL will have done what? Will it be a mistake in terms of calculating which van had to go to which place at which time, or they couldn't collate the arrival of the chicken with the departure of the van? I mean, it would seem that is their job, isn't it? That's what they're specialising in.
Well, you're going to get the odd hiccup in any supply chain, but this is such a monumental thing, and they've only been doing it for a week. Yeah. I mean, just before Christmas, DHL did a deal with Carlsberg because Carlsberg are shutting down all their distribution. And there was lots of coverage in the press about the mess they were making of that, and there were lots of things about union problems. And this was at the time when KFC was signing this deal with them. So you'd think if you were running KFC, you'd be thinking, perhaps we ought to keep an eye on this as an absolute minimum.
Could this be a big enough issue to bring the company to its knees? Because, I mean, if they close their doors, they're not doing any business. I don't know whether they'll have to carry on paying their staff. They certainly will have to carry on paying their rent and their rates and everything else without any profit coming in through the door. So could this be the death of KFC? I say nervously.
No, they're a global organisation. This will be yesterday's news in 3 or 4 weeks' time. The people I feel sorry for are the poor people in the stores that are on 0 hours or fixed contracts who are now not going to get paid, whereas I'm sure the people that have presided over this mess will still take their wages.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us about it. That's Steve Jones, a food supply chain consultant.